everyone, Tony Phelan here with CompetitionX, and today we're going to be unboxing Tamiya's Toyota Gazoo Racing TS050 hybrid racing car. This is based on the F103 GT chassis, and it is just an absolutely beautiful vehicle. So let's crack this box open and see what's inside. So before we crack open the box, let's go over a few of the things you're going to need to complete this kit. It is a kit, you will need to build it, which means you'll also need to install a lot of things like electronics. We are looking at a 2-channel radio system, a receiver, which will come with your radio system, a servo, and electronic speed control. Most Tamiya kits come with the TBLE02S speed control. It's a brushed and brushless system. This does not, so you'll need to supply a speed control, a battery pack, and a battery charger. Now, this vehicle does come with Tamiya's 540 Mabuchi or Johnson motor. It's plenty of power for this, but it is a brushed motor. So when you purchase a speed control, you're going to want to make sure it's something that can handle a brushed motor. So the first thing we see when we look in the box is, of course, the gorgeous body. It's highly detailed. It's got scribe marks for the wheel wells. It's got dimples for the body mounts. And this is only the first piece. I think there's probably multiple pieces in here. Then in this bag here, looks like we got some, looks like maybe a body mount or a wing mount. A couple other pieces in there, plastic pieces. Look like steering arms there. We got the tires. They are slicks, Tamiya slicks. Probably not going to have a whole lot of traction, but for the 540 motor, they'll probably be fine. And of course the wheels. The wheels look great. Great looking wheels there. Let me see if you guys can see those. Yep, great looking wheels. Looks like here, if you're familiar with an F103 chassis, it is a T-bar chassis, so it uses a fiberglass kind of plate in the back to allow flex in the rear end. These plates here are actually damper plates. There's a tube that comes up the center with the damper plates, and as it moves around, you can put grease on these damper plates to kind of slow down the motion of the rear end. Foam for the inside of the tires. These look like they are the motor plates in the back. This is the whole rear pod. It's like the back side of the pod. The two side places there where the axle goes through. The motor mount there. Front bumper, some body mounts. Mirrors for the side of the car. And this, of course, has all the other pieces in there. So if we got servo stuff, gear, there's your motor there, there's your Johnson 540 motor there. Some body mounts, some body pins, I mean. These here are, these actually put bearings in those, and these are right height adjusters for the rear end of the car. Let's go ahead and take some of this stuff out then. Let's just do this. There we go. There's your motor. All the screws, part of the rear axle. Rear hubs. These look like, oh, this is the servo mount. Part of the servo mount. This is part for the rear axle as well. And we saw these a little bit earlier. These are for the servo saver. We got the gears and some more rear diff parts. A ton of small screws. These are probably going to be for assembling the body parts, the rear wing and stuff like that. There's also some tape here, probably for taping parts together. Most likely for taping pieces of the rear wing together. We got some tools. We got some of the grease. Ball cups for the steering. The famous Tamiya 4-way wrench. If you're a Tamiya person, you probably have 1,000 of these things. I know I do. Hinge pins, front axles, steering, I guess these are the kind of the early turnbuckles, Z-bend bars. And we've got our bearings, and we have the diff plates. And finally, it looks like another bag of parts. This is probably the rear wing. Probably the rear wing part up here. That. And then we got the front suspension. And the fiberglass chassis parts. This is going to be the lower deck. This is going to be the pod plate for the damper disc. The damper disc sit up on there and move around on there. We got the upper deck, and this looks like this is a T-plate right there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's the T-plate underneath there. Then, of course, we have the instructions. Tamiya's awesome instructions. It also gives you in here all of the different colors you're going to need to paint the body. Application of all the stickers. Yeah, a little overwhelming. But the final outcome looks fantastic. Of course, the F103 GT instruction manual, a couple other little miscellaneous pieces. Oh, rear axle, can't forget that. Steel rear axle. And then, of course, all the decals for the body. Pretty crazy. So I'm excited to get the Toyota built and out on the track. I've driven quite a few of the F103 GT chassis, and they're a lot of fun to drive. It's a really fun car. But the biggest draw, of course, is going to be the beautiful body. Tamiya puts a lot of work into their bodies, which means kind of on our end, there's kind of a lot of work to do, painting, building, assembling, and stickering. Probably twice as much time to build the body as it does to build the chassis. So, but that's okay, because their final outcome is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm okay with that. Thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. And if you have any comments on this vehicle, please put them down below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the track.